Okay, so in the last lesson, last video even, I showed you how to set up Python using idle, and I showed you how to do a print statement, specifically a hello world statement, and hopefully you saw that this page over here is where we display stuff, and this page over here is typically where we write things. Now, there's obviously loads of things that we can do with Python, but for our purposes, we need to know about different operators. Now, in maths, you have add, subtract, divide, which looks like this on a computer, and multiply. On a computer, in Python, an important one for us is also the percent sign. The percent sign is modular, or modulo, or I think I always get that word wrong, but the important thing to recognize is this isn't percent. This is a division, but it returns a remainder. Okay, we will cover it, we will look at it, but to begin with, we're going to I'm going to talk you through some of the things that you can and can't do with, to begin with at least, strings and these different operators. Okay, so strings are just a mixed bag of letters. They can contain, obviously it can be letters, but it can also be numbers and symbols. Now, that's really handy for us as people using the program and maybe wanting to read different things. The computer can't really do anything with it. Okay, and to prove it, if I did something like this, if I went print 5 plus 5, 5, and ran this program now, hopefully we're going to get 10. Run the program, ask me to save. You see, you've still got my hello world, and it says 10. Subtle difference. Okay, turn this into a string. Run the program again. Save it. We get 5 plus 5. Because it's a string, the computer does not recognize it as being a 5, a plus symbol, and a 5. It just recognizes it as being those particular keystrokes on a keyboard. It won't do any maths with them. So that's an important thing to recognize. A string is great for displaying things. There's lots of manipulation that we can do with strings, but we cannot do maths with them. Next, once we've got a string, so I could say something like, how are you? It's very common that we might want to join that string to another string. And I said we'd be looking at operators, but the first thing I'm actually going to use is a comma. Put a comma in here. I can add another string together. In practice, there is no reason why you would want to do specifically this, but it'll prove a point. And I could say, I am fine, thanks for asking. And if I run this now, save it, I end up with, how are you? I am fine, thanks for asking. And you'll notice where this comma is here, is this space here, where my mouse is, and we actually have a space. Now, let's stuff in there a plus symbol. This makes sense, right? We've got this string here, and we want to add it to this string. Okay, so if I run this, crucial difference here, you'll notice when it displays over here, no space. Okay, but it works. Okay, we take one string and another string, put them together, it actually works. Okay, so it's worth bearing that in mind. If you want that space there, the comma is the symbol for you. If you don't, and there will be occasions when you won't, the plus symbol is the symbol for you. Okay, let's see what happens then if I put a minus symbol in there. Okay, a takeaway symbol. It throws up some sort of error because that doesn't make any mathematical or logical sense. Okay, how are you? Takeaway, I am fine, thanks for asking. It doesn't mean anything. In the same way that banana, takeaway, apple doesn't mean anything. Okay, and we will actually get a very similar response if we try and multiply. and if we try and divide, we'll get the same thing. We may as well do that just to demonstrate. See, it doesn't work. It says it's a type error. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. You can't divide a string by a string. However, there are things that we can do with multipliers. For example, we could do 5 times how are you. If I run this, what we end up with is how are you, how are you, how are you, how are you, how are you. Okay? And it makes sense, right? If I actually change this to something that would make some more logical sense, perhaps apple, 5 times apple, hopefully that says to you that we want 5 apples. Okay? If we did divide by 5 apple, hopefully that says to you, it doesn't make any sense, please don't do it. Okay? And it's the same to the computer. If we said 5 plus apple, hopefully this says to you, it doesn't make any sense either. Okay? Unless we make it a string, in which case the computer doesn't know what it says and isn't interested in what it says, it's just going to take it and join it to that. 5 apple. That's been a little bit of a video on how to, I suppose, manipulate strings a little bit using some operators, but I hope that I've pointed out some sort of like computational logic to it. Okay, you can have 5 apples. You cannot have 5 divided by apple. It makes no sense. Okay, there will be another video, but thanks for watching.